Hawksby and Jacobs here on Talk Sports. Joining us in the studio now to chat about his new film, Avengement, is actor, martial artist, Villa fan, Scott Adkins. Scott, good to see you.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me.
For coming in. Yeah. You're in the film with a couple of guys who've already been there in the studio with us, Craig Fairbrass and Nick Moran. So it's visceral. It's a violent film, isn't it? I mean, it's got a very interesting plot, but the fight scenes are pretty raw, aren't they?
Yeah, well, do you know what? I miss the 80s, man. When action films had violence in them and they weren't all made for the kids. You know, think about RoboCop, Commando and the Rambo films. They're pretty violent films. And I like to think that we're catering for guys that miss that sort of thing, because I know I certainly do. But obviously it's not all about that. It's a very character-driven action film, a British film. Yeah. Very British, set in a pub. And I really hope that it finds its place in the UK, to be honest, because it's such an English movie that, you know.
Yeah, tell us a bit about your character and the situation he finds himself in.
I play Kane Burgess, who's a bit of a ne'er-do-well, but, you know, kind of naive, nice kid. But his brother, played by Craig Fairbrass, is a nasty gangster. And my character's always been trying to stay out of that sort of thing, but his brother convinces him to do a job. And he needs some money, so he does it, and it goes wrong. He ends up in prison. And what he learns later on is that the reason why everyone in the prison has been trying to kill him for weeks, turning into years, is because his brother put a hit out on him, because his brother became convinced that I was going to snitch on my brother. So I find out that it's actually Craig Fairbrass who's trying to have me killed in there, and I managed to escape from prison, go back to my old haunts, looking to get revenge on the people that put me there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, in those kind of, when you've this kind of films like this in a prison, there is nowhere to run, is there, basically? And that confined space accentuates the sort of tension of it, isn't there, really? When you're kind of, as you see from the film, you're waiting for the next people to have a pop at him, and you wonder how much more violent or more, you know, I mean, kind of life-threatening it's going to get each time.
Oh, yeah, we were filming a real prison that's not used now, but it was in Canterbury, and you know, to sit in those cells and to think what it must have been like for the people that were there. It's horrible stuff. And if you're in my character's position, where you know everyone's out to get you and there's no escape, and not even the guards are going to keep you safe, that would be a terrible position to be in. Yeah, nasty stuff.
So it's out already, digital release, Blu-ray and DVD from today.
Today, right? Out today.
Fantastic. You're a mixed martial artist. Was that your kind of way into the movies? Was you an actor first that did mixed martial arts, or mixed martial artists that turned to acting?
At the same time, to be honest. I mean, most people think that I was a stunt guy, martial arts performer that then learnt to act, which is not true. I was very much inspired by the action heroes of the 80s, you know, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Bruce Lee, especially Van Damme. Yeah. And I remember vividly watching Bloodsport when I was 12 years old, or 13, and saying to my mum, I figured out what I want to do with my life. I want to do what this guy does, kick the crap out of people on TV, but just pretend it's going to be great. Oh, I'm sure it'll be okay, son. But no, I made my mind up there and then, and I approached. The martial arts came very easy to me because I'm a natural athlete. The acting, not so much, because I was a bit shy as a kid. So I think that needed to catch up with the martial arts at some point. But certainly, you know, for the past few years, been in good shape.
Yeah. You were telling us you still live in Birmingham, from Birmingham originally. You have lost the accent, you've got to admit.
It finds its way in there.
You can hear a bit.
But it's the family, really, the Villa side of it, Villa supporting side of it, though you obviously do care.
Yeah, I live in a place in Sutton Coldfield, just outside Birmingham, called Little Aston. Now, I don't know if it's connected to Aston, but it's pretty close. Yeah. And the family support Villa, they always have. My dad and my brother much more than me, to be honest.
It's quite a mixed support, Villa, because of the royal sort of Prince. Do
you think he brings a few royals with him?
Look at Rupert Bell. He's the poshest man in the world. He's a big Villa.
He's
fan.
our racing.
So there's that sort of Cotswold set that sort of graduate towards. So you've got
the old school Birmingham.
It's a little bit odd.
Yeah.
They need to adopt the accent as well. You're not a real Villa fan unless you're talking like that, you know what I mean, mate?
That's really good.
You have been involved in some big Hollywood movies. I mean, you were talking about Stallone and stuff, and you got to work with him, didn't you?
Yeah, Expendables 2, which was a great honour, to be honest, to be invited into what was seen to be like the action hero movie franchise It almost felt like a badge of honor to have Stallone say, "Come on, kid, come and be in Expendables 2. You've earned your stripes." And yeah, to be with all those massive action stars was a real thrill.
Yeah. So you stayed here though. You've not gone down that Hollywood route and using that as a base. You've kind of stayed true. Is it kind of great working out there? Oh.
It's nice to visit there.
Yeah.
That traffic takes some getting used to. But these days, films are rarely made in Hollywood. In fact, almost never. We make more in England, it seems. We've got a great tax rebate over here. All the Star Wars films, all the big movies.
Yeah.
If you need to do an audition, you can either come down to London, or these days you just put it on tape and email it over to the States. It's easily done. I think if you're over there in Hollywood, you can meet the producers, and out of sight, out of mind. It's probably better to be there for that. But essentially, films are made wherever they're made.
Yeah,
rarely in Hollywood.
No, that's true. Did you consider the UFC route, or kind of going into sort of as a sort of sports person in martial arts?
No, I didn't. It takes a certain sort of mindset to be a prize fighter. I've been training in martial arts since I was 10 years old, and I consider myself a true martial artist. And don't get me wrong, I can handle myself in most situations. But I've got too much respect for people that go in the octagon and in the ring and put it on the line against proper pro fighters to sit here and tell you that I'm one. But it takes a specific sort of person and mindset. And I was interested in the other sides. Let's put it that way.
You've made films around that sort of mixed martial arts world, though, haven't you?
Oh yeah, and I train at a mixed martial arts gym in Birmingham with pro fighters. But I don't want to get punched in the face for real for a living. Come on, there's easier ways to make a living than that.
I can understand that.
Are you related? I always ask people this to Nigel Adkins, the well-known football manager.
Never heard of him.
There we are.
No,
So I
not
probably could have told you
not
that.
part
before.
of the family.
No.
Yeah.
Found out recently there's a town in Texas called Adkins.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
You go and check it out when you're next.
It's a pretty big place, Texas.
Good
You've
photo.
got to find it on the map
Good
first.
photo opportunity.
It's true. You're funny talking about Stallone there, and a lot of the guys that made these kind of action hero films, people would say, "Well, they're just action. That's all they do." But I remember an old Stallone film years back, Copland. Have you seen it? I think Harvey Keitel and Ray Liotta, and he was absolutely sensational in that. He's a fine actor, old Sly. When he turns his hand to it, isn't he? He's excellent.
Listen, for me, he always has been. He's a true filmmaker. It's not easy to stay on top for 5 generations. How many people can say that?
Yeah.
When he, people thought he was playing himself in Rocky. He's not playing himself. He's a smart, switched-on, sophisticated guy. He did a great performance as Rocky. That's not who he is. Did a great performance as John Rambo. And obviously with Copland, putting all the weight on and all the rest of it. But for me, he's always been a great actor. And even more than that, an incredible filmmaker. Writes his films, directs his films. The guy's a smart guy.
So what you Avengement out, as we said, today on Blu-ray DVD, and it's out as a digital release as well. So what have you got coming up next then, Scott?
I've got a big film coming out in December, which is a Chinese movie. It's called Ip Man 4, and it stars Donnie Yen, who's the biggest sort of Chinese action guy at the moment. And there's a comedy coming out, Intergalactic
Is that Chinese
Adventures.
language, the film?
Chinese language. It's a very big, popular franchise worldwide.
Right.
Mike Tyson was in the last one.
Did you act in English, presumably?
I'm playing an American in that.
Sure.
And a comedy film, you say you're doing?
Yeah, that was something new and interesting that I shot last year. Something new. Hopefully, I was funny. They tell me I was, but let's find out what the public thinks.
Good stuff. Scott, good to see you. Best of luck with the film. Thanks very much
Thanks
for
a lot,
joining
guys.
us. Avengement, as we said, is available now. It's been released as a digital release, of course, and on Blu-ray and DVD from today. It's Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs here on Talk Sport.